morning, Scott. How are you?
Hello, everyone, and XRP Army News family. I would like to introduce you to Mack. He is a new friend who lives in Holland, and he graciously joined us today to be able to kind of share who he is, what how he found the crypto and the XRP space, where he kind of feels like we are now, and where we all may be heading. So, Mac, would you like to say hello to everyone and just kind of start sharing who you are and how you see crypto and XRP, and we'll just see where the conversation leads us.
Okay. Hi, good morning, Scott. Yeah, here, Mac from Holland. It's here afternoon. The weather is okay. I'm in a very good mood. I'm 55 years old, two children. My wife is working upstairs, and also here in Holland we are locked down. So my garden is my space, and sometimes the supermarket. And yeah, Scott asked me for an interview. Uh, that's my first interview about XRP and the XRP community. First, sorry for my English, but that's not very good. But I hope you all understand me. Yeah, the first thing what Scott asked me, how you get involved with XRP. I think it was 2016. I get involved with Bitcoin, and I started to buy some Bitcoin in the end of 2016 and the beginning of 2017, and it was a very good time. 2017 was very, very good. My
Hit,
wife, yeah,
hit it at the right time, huh?
yeah, hit it at the right time, but we go also down. Okay, 2017, yeah. My wife bought some Bitcoin. I bought more. My children had an account. Bought some Bitcoin for the children. And then I was working. I was working in the military in 2017 because I was in 2018. I was retiring. But the end of 2017, I think it was about $2,000 the Bitcoin, about that high. That was the point with Christmas 2017. I said to my wife, uh, all the money we get in from his own money, we get it out. And that was a good decision. Uh, and
Yeah.
the other few Bitcoins, only a few, they were on the Trezor, on the ledger, and then it go down, 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 down. So I've seen all the ups and all the downs since 2017, and now we are here. Yeah.
And Mac, how did you first run into XRP, and what did you think about that when you first saw it?
In the beginning of 2000, last year, 2019, I didn't believe not more in Bitcoin. I get reading, and I was doing 8 hours reading and 8 hours see YouTube videos every day, and I was thinking and reading and thinking in my bed, and I did something on exchanges. I think I understood that it's maybe is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a store of value, but the use cases for XRP, it's fast, it's cheap, it's scalable. It's electricity neutral. XRP is everything. So that was a time I started to sell my Bitcoin, and I bought XRP, 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 and every day I bought some XRP. So that's the beginning. Yeah, beginning of 2018, I started with XRP, and I was a Bitcoin maximalist, but in 2017, but that's really gone. Maybe Bitcoin is a store of value, but I leave Bitcoin, and I trust Brad, and I trust Joe Katz. I trust XRP. I trust Ripple.
Chris Larson.
Chris Larson, yeah, the founder, yeah, yeah. But it's for the value of XRP. It's very hard for everybody. We know the price is today is good. It's about $20 cents, but I don't look at the price anymore. I think there will be a day, and it's coming. It will be coming very good for XRP. There will be a day. There will be explode. There will be a big boom. I know. I read a lot. I know the Shane Ellis theory. It will be. It comes. One day you wake up and you put on your computer and you see XRP sky high. That's what I'm thinking.
And Mac, do you believe that in the pre-allocation theory that they may just have a set price and they'll just set it at that? One of the things that I've looked into is the idea that the IMF will pass out a certain amount of XRP to all of the different countries that are members of the IMF, and then they'll set it at the price that will be able to bail all of those countries out with all of their debt, and then we have a reset. Do you see that the same way?
That's a possibility. The global reset, and maybe it started with the IMF, maybe with the IMF and the World Bank and World Bank and the Bank of America and all the banks and all the exchanges and all um, the the overseas, yeah,
Corporations, governments, banks,
government,
all the people Ripple's been working with,
all the money of the world.
all
Yeah,
the money.
yeah, that's about what was it? 27 trillion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too big, too big to understanding. But start with the EMF. I think at the moment you see today are different news, but we have Swift, and why the banks use Swift. XRP using the ODL on demand ODL, it's much faster. So there is something brewing, but I don't know what behind the scenes. What are you thinking?
Well, I think the same thing. I think that convenience always wins. And also, if you want to follow the money, all of the money, follow the tech. When technical innovations in the history of mankind have come about, Mac, when something is faster, more secure, and less expensive to use, it is always going to hit mass adoption. I mean, every example in history. When what branch of the military were you in?
I was in the military in Navy. I started in 1984 in Den Helder in the north of Holland. And the last 8 years, I start working in the army. I going joint. My work in the Navy was with weapon systems and ammunition and radar, goalkeeper systems. And I did a lot of firefighting. And the last years in the army, where I was working joint, I worked with CBRN, the chemical, biologic, radiologic, nuclear classes where I give lessons. I was an instructor, and I give some lessons in America in Fort Leonard Wood, in a big army facility there over there.
I got you. So,
Yeah.
Mac, whenever you were, did you ever spend any time in any submarines?
Never on submarines.
No,
No.
but you
No.
did with the Dutch military provided vehicles, right? Like a car or a truck.
Yeah.
So whenever they came out with a better, faster, cheaper truck, the Army would buy that and provide that to the men in the Army so they could get transported around more effectively at less cost. So
Yeah.
the convenience, whenever the technology changes, just follow the money and follow the tech. Whatever is more convenient is always going to end up getting mass adopted. And so when you visited America, what was the thing about America that you enjoyed the most?
Oh, I've seen from 1985 till 2005. I was sailing. I've seen every harbor on the East Coast, from Canada, Halifax, uh, yeah, New York. I've seen Wilmington, Charleston, Fort Lauderdale. I was in Florida too. I've seen the Caribbean. Yeah, a lot of harbors. New York. Um, Too much. Big harbors. I've seen. It's a free country like Holland, America, but I've also see a lot of difference between rich people and yeah, the people who lives on the streets.
Hmm.
That's yeah,
So
that's America.
for all of the people that are listening to us who have never been to Holland, tell us a little bit about Holland and what's the greatest thing about Holland.
The freedom of movement, the free. It's a free country, but yeah, that's not a good question now. But you can go to a coffee shop and you can drink beer. Yeah, it's now here 5 o'clock, so I drink my Belgian beer. I drink
Cheers.
I drink a leffe. So and I yeah, you can do everything. But now we're also for lockdown because of the coronavirus. So everybody is at home. You can go to the supermarket, but Holland is a good country. We have summer, autumn, winter, spring. We have sea. It's very good country, and yeah, I love it. Always, I've been sailing 16 years at sea, and always when I come to the Netherlands, I think I love it here. It's okay.
Well,
Um,
I live in the state of North Carolina in the States, and I personally think that it's the greatest state of all of our states. And the reason people are really friendly, number one, we have great barbecue, and North Carolina also has a region of the state to the west that is all mountains. And then in the middle of the state, it's just kind of flat. And then we also have beaches, the ocean. So North
yeah,
Carolina has all three. And I grew up in the mountains of North Carolina in a beautiful place called Banner Elk, North Carolina, population 714. And Mac, the greatest thing about Banner Elk, besides the people, was we had 4 distinct seasons. So we had a winter, and I grew up on a snow skiing slope resort. And then we had spring that everything became alive after the cold winter. And then the summer was nice temperature wise, but very low humidity. And then the fall was actually my favorite time of the year when all of the leaves changed. And so, if anyone ever gets the chance to visit the beautiful North Carolina mountains, as soon as XRP moons, I am going to be moving back home to the mountains from the middle of the state where I live now. I moved here, Mac, to kind of look after my father and stepmother. They're getting along in age, and their health is not really all that great. So I moved here to be able to kind of look after them. But at some point, I will be when XRP moons, I'll be moving back. So all of the XRP Army interviews at some point will all be done from a porch in a cabin in the mountains.
Yeah. And I think this is the maybe the perfect time to moving to explode. This the perfect. It's not very nice to say because a lot of people are going to die. There are a lot of people sick, so that's not very nice. But there must be a change. There must be something in the financial structure of the world. There must be coming come something new. Yeah, that will happen. And I hope so. That's it. It is it. XRP.
Well, Mac, are you among the conspiracy theorists where you feel like I don't know, the Illuminati or the Bilderbergs or the Rockefellers, or there's any type of group of people that are kind of running the world behind the strings, have all been kind of working on some kind of a plan that we can reset? And I will mention that I believe, for me, in the research that I've done, that the beginning of the end basically came in 1971 when President Richard Nixon took America off of the gold standard. Once we did that and we got into this fiat funny money credit world where the Fed, if there's a problem, you can just print your way out of it, print money out of thin air to solve any problem. All they did was begin to build, Mac, a deeper and a deeper and a deeper hole. And the derivatives debt, I don't know if you've seen that chart that shows the asset classes of the world, but they've got like gold, I think it's 7 or 70 trillion. Pardon me for not remembering if there's a zero or not, but it shows that, and it has a block of black boxes that represents that asset class. Then they've got real estate. I think it's 250 trillion. Then they've got all of the stocks and bonds in the world. And then you get down to the bottom where they created an example of an illustration of the derivative debt in the world. And it's between 545 trillion and 1.2 quadrillion. And Mac, it takes about a minute to scroll on the computer to be able to see how big that box is compared to the other asset classes in the world. And we all know from The Big Short that a lot of these derivatives are based on crummy assets that are no good. So all of these asset managers and brokers and Wall Street people all sold these derivatives to people hoping that they would be able to make money at some point, but the products and the derivatives are not bringing back the return. That's why we end up with a big crash. And but I don't know if you've seen that graph or not, but that's quite illuminating to be able to see. But I think that the problem started with the fiat system in 1971 when we went off the gold standard. Then banks could begin to loan out on assets they had in the bank 10 to 1, and they just went wild on doing that. Now we're so far in debt. I see no way out except some type of a reset.
Yeah. Now, in 1971, I was 6 years old, and I don't believe in conspiracy theories, but yeah, there is something. U.S. debt, the world debt is too big, too big, too big. I can how now we have here a fight in Europe between the northern European countries and Italy and Spain because they have very big problems, a lot of deaths with COVID-19. Yeah, what I don't know. I don't know. I hope Brett Kimes will know more. Do I believe in the Bilderberg group? They are. They our queen, last queen and king are in the Bilderberg group. So maybe that's the reserve government of the world. I don't know. I don't know. They never tell me, or you never read about what are they are going to do. So I don't know, but I think the Rockefellers, the Soros, the Bilderberg Group, the Clintons, the Trump administration. There is something more, and now the world is not in really a war, but there is a very dangerous situation, pandemic. Um, the world need liquidity, so we need something else. And for me, there is one thing that's Ripple's XRP. That's what I'm thinking and what I'm believing. I'm standing 100% behind it.
Me too. Did you read the Everest plan? Did you watch DAI's video on the master plan and see that? That was one thing that really confirmed for me 1,000% my belief in XRP was that Everest plan. And I got to close the window. I'll be right back, and you can answer while I'm rolling up this window.
I hear the dogs. Yeah.
Okay, that should help. Real production value from real people, huh?
Where the dogs?
Yeah, my Allie approves of XRP, just so everybody knows.
Yeah, I've read not that particular article, but I've read a lot. I read a lot. I've now time. Since 2 years retired. I read a lot. That's my hobby. And I make a change from Bitcoin to XRP. And now the only thing I'm doing, and I hope it is positive, I do some things on Twitter and nothing more. Only Twitter, and I push some positive news in front. And I see some videos about XRP, but there's not. I've not. I'm retired, but I have not time enough to see all the YouTube videos every day. They're making about XRP, and I don't have time to read all the stories about XRP. It's too much, and then I I read only about one coin, XRP. Yeah.
And Mac, do you have any kind of a feeling? And I know that we all are searching for this eternal answer of when there may be some kind of a big happening. I know that me personally, And I tweeted last night that I was super excited that we went to 20 cents. But,
Yeah.
but Mac, it seems like that whenever I would buy XRP, I bought it. I bought it 27 cents, all excited because I didn't want it to go to 32 before I got some more. And then as soon as I buy it at 27, it goes down to 14. So when I was able to buy, some at 17. So when I saw it go up to 20, I feel like I died and went to heaven. It was Christmas in April, so I was happy. And but do you have any idea or opinion in your mind when you feel like that more of this adoption will take place? Because we've got the example of the corridor Mexico U.S. set. Everybody can see that
All three
MoneyGram,
core.
MoneyGram is working. It's functional. There's liquidity there. And I believe Bitso is trying to ramp that up along with MoneyGram. Then we've also got Thailand. And one of the big developments that got me really excited was when India and South Korea, 2 days apart, passed their crypto regulations. And I've heard that in India, I think 80% of the banks are RippleNet connected. So I know that the regulations in the US have been rather slow. We've got politicians who started, looking at crypto and calling it Bitcom with Maxine Waters. But I now think that Libra and now this current health crisis has helped speed things up considerably in the world adoption of this next digital asset for the world. But do you have any kind of an intuition or gut feeling on how you feel like that the timing of everything is right now?
Yeah, the adoption, Bitso, Mexico, the adoption Australia, the adoption Philippines and India, Japan, Korea, Thailand. I see more and more adoption and more things, the banks or we work with Ripple.
Mhm.
But I think um, yeah, there comes a day. That's what we're waiting for. But I say it the whole 2019. I say we are ready for it, and now we are in April 2020. I bought the most of XRP above 35 cents. So I'm halving. Now it's 20 cents. So officially I'm wrecked. But I believe in it. I buy more now. And there comes a day, the news come out and the banks are in. 300 banks working with Ripple. And how many banks use ODL? That I think that's not much, but they're all testing the systems.
I think
So
I remember hearing it was 25, Mac. The last I heard that may have gone up, but 25, I heard it was between 350 and 450 clients with RippleNet and 25. And again, that was dated a while back because I have not heard an updated number on the number of banks using ODL. But again, cheaper, faster, more secure. Why not use it? It's working very well for the ones who are using it. So I'm confident that the adoption will occur. It's just like you and everyone else in crypto. We'd like to know when. And I believe that the U.S. government, the regulatory portion, that as soon as they get that piece in place, then I think we'll see a great big leap forward at that point. So that's what I'm hoping is going to happen from our U.S. regulators. They just want to make sure that they've got it all set up to where they can control, excuse me, control and keep track of everything. So we're all waiting on that.
There's one point you forgot. All the Ethereum, all the Litecoin, all the Bitcoin that need mining.
Hmm.
And mining costs a lot of electricity. And XRP is already there. It's in the escrow. So that's much cheaper, cost a lot of low electricity. So when you understood that part of the big thing, you understand XRP is ready for it. You know,
Yes, I
really?
do. I do know. So,
Yeah.
Mac, when it moons, do you have any plans on how you feel like it will change your life? And do you have any plans to be able to um, do things with more money than what you have now?
No, maybe another house. No, we are higher. It's a small house here, and in the Dutch. My wife's sitting in the sun, but maybe another house. But the most go to my children. I'm 55 years old. How long do I live? When I get 80, it's 25 years more. So that's will be fast. So I'm old, I think, but so I have not much plans. It's more a hobby. I believe in it. Um, I'm not going to exchange. I store my mm, uh, everything on a treasure or a ledger. I read the news, um, but I'm waiting for the day, and the day will come, and the day will come fast. I don't know not have a glass bowl. I can I have no date. The news is good. There is so many good news, and there are so many banks and exchanges working with Ripple. How many how many more good news do we need? I don't know.
Yeah, that's one thing that I've found too, Mac, is that it seems like there's good news after good news after good news. I can't really, you try to be objective, you try to be objective, but I don't ever see any bad news. So it's all good. And so that's one of the things that I'm really hoping, that the flip, they go ahead and flip the switch,
Flip
because
the
I
switch.
don't see that there has been any bad news anywhere that's going to get us going in the other direction. And I also want you to know that I'm 58, so I'm right there with you in the same age bracket. And I just want to be able to have, I guess, the last third of my life, be able to not really kind of have any economic concern at all, and dedicate the rest of the time that I've got in seeing what I can do to help other people. That's my dream.
So, yep. Also help other people and get financial freedom.
Hmm.
That's it. Yeah.
Yep.
And we have seen our life. We have paid our taxes. I was 16 years in the military in foreign countries. I've seen wars. I've seen a lot of shit, um, and that's where I am now. I believe in XRP. I believe in Ripple. Uh, and I think they must show all the people who invest in XRP, Ripple must do something, and I think Brad must say something to them. And I know we put money XRP. It's our risico, but there must be comes good news.
Yeah, I think when it comes, I believe like you, it's going to become fast and furious when it gets here. So
Fast and Furious.
yeah. So I've got another question. Do have you shared XRP and Ripple and crypto with other people, friends and family, and have they taken your suggestions to look into this with open minds and hearts, or have they been kind of resistant to listening to what old Mack's got to tell them?
No, I did the last years on my work, but everybody had a different story. They do. Everybody who bought buy for a higher price than XRP is now. So that's makes it difficult for me to say to everybody, wait and don't sell, hodl. But sometimes they don't understand. Yeah. Okay. Hodl.
Yeah,
I can do that. I can do that.
I can't do it like Scott.
Hodl.
I've got to separate my
I
fingers.
just,
Yeah, maybe this has.
yeah, hodl.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah, it's difficult, but there are a lot of people, they are in the crypto currency space. Not all. I have a friend. He is switched to Monero because he said there are a lot of criminals in the world, and they will use Monero because it's private.
Privacy. Yeah.
Yeah. But I read something out about XRP. There's also you can do things in a private way too.
I just saw
So
that too.
they
But
already.
but you know what, Mac? I really don't believe that the governments and the banks are going to be really all that interested in privacy coins because they want it to be on a public ledger where they can track everything for taxes. I mean, I think that's one of the reasons that the governments like it is because it is on a public ledger where they can track everything. I know the IRS would love to be able to track every purchase, every monetary transaction that I make. It would make it a lot easier for them. And in
Yep.
America, with our IRS and accountants, we have people that they can do some creative accounting on their taxes and expenditures and lower the amount of tax that they have to pay. I mean, we've got corporations in America that do billions of dollars a year and they don't pay any tax because the way that they do their accounting, they show that they had a loss. So I think that the governments, from a taxation standpoint, are going to like the on demand, excuse me, the interoperable ledger, so they can track every single purchase to be able to collect the correct amount of tax that everybody ought to pay.
Yeah. The world need tax because we must. Every every country need tax, but I don't know how that. I don't know. I really don't know how that works with the tax. I know in Holland we pay tax. I pay tax for my cryptocurrency. I pay tax for my XRP,
Mm-hmm.
but it's low. It's about 3%.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. Um, a world. I think there will be no world without tax, so we must pay it. So I think it's a good thing. But the last 2 years, I pay tax more than now the price of XRP is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, um, Yeah, what was your question really?
Just do you believe that the governments are going to allow the privacy coins to be out there? Because I don't think the governments are going to like them because they want to be able to see what people are doing.
Yeah, it's difficult question. Yeah. Maybe there comes a time. I don't know about Monero. I don't really don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Well,
can give an answer.
that Mac, there's also been a lot of talk out there about a new world order coming along and one world currency. In general, are the people in Holland, if we ended up with a one world order and one government and one currency, is that something that the general feeling in Holland would be a terrible thing? Or is that something that is feared greatly or not really much of a concern to the average person in Holland?
Oh, that will be a long story. Yeah, you you have right and you have left also in Holland. You have red and green. Uh, Holland, we have the euro. Holland is an we are in the highest. We have a lot of. We are good for the euro, but countries like Greece or Italy or Spain, they have much more debts, and we northern Euro countries we pay for them.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm very early retired, but my wife was must working till she is 68. But in the southern European countries, they work till 55 or 85. How the euro? I think that's not the right way. Now we have the Brexit. England is out of the euro. I think it's a good thing, but the euro, the US dollar, the yen, yuan, all the money, they have problems. All the fiat money have problems, and I think again the time for fiat money is gone. Look to Venezuela. That's a good uh, Venezuela. The fiat money is gone.
I agree.
Yeah. I hope you understand my English.
I have not had any trouble. Your English has been excellent.
Okay.
All right. So if you wanted to kind of send a message to everyone else out in XRP world, and I'd kind of like to hear it in a couple of different ways, Mac. If people are new to the crypto space and the XRP space, what would you like to encourage them to do? And then what would you like to encourage other members in the XRP Army who've been here a while? And what would you like to be able to say so they all get to know Mac a little bit and wanted to hear one thing? If you could only say one thing to the XRP Army community, what would that be?
I'm looking to my phone to read something. Yeah. For all the people we're going, we're new in the XRP community, they must know Again, XRP is fast, is cheap, is scalable, uh, but the world is changing fast now. I think XRP is ready for a global reset. I think XRP is ready for all the money in the world. I think XRP, uh, when there is fiat money and we need banks, and XRP Ripple works with banks, XRP will be the bridge. But XRP will be the bridge for all the money in the world. Uh, and when XRP is the bridge, there will be a global adoption for XRP in the whole world. And if the global adoption there is, it will be a reserve currency. XRP will be the new reserve currency in the world. And I think it will be, it could be in a couple of months or maybe a few years. And that's my personal reason I bought XRP. And I'm waiting for it. I think the same do you, Scott.
Yes. And what would you say to the people that have been in a while, that you've been watching all of their videos, you've been reading all of their tweets, all of the other people in the XRP community that you've been communicating with, now that they get a chance to be able to see Mack attack behind the little name on Twitter? Would you like to say anything to any of the other people that are in the community?
Yeah, relax. Time will tell. Hodl your XRP. But that's what I am doing. I'm waiting for a day. I wake up and I open my laptop and I see what's this? And I need my glasses. And XRP is not $10, not $100, but even more. That I will tell to the whole XRP community.
All right. And last, as we sign off, Mack, I'd like to deeply, deeply appreciate you. And to the other people that I have been doggedly and persistently pursuing to come and have a conversation with me, to all of those people, would you like to be able to hear more of the people in the community have a talk like this so you could get to know them a little bit better? So would you
Yeah.
encourage the other people in the community, go ahead and get on a talk with Scott and let us all kind of get to know each other better? That's a good thing. Is that something that you believe is a good thing?
It's always a good thing when the how do you say that the army XRP army and all the people we are big community. We work together. We work for free. I don't work for Ripple. I don't get money from XRP, but for the whole community, it's good. And today,
B.
Michael, yeah, he stopped with the XRP videos because he's uh, he now the Michael from Swiss. He's from Switzerland.
Uh-huh.
He stopped with the XRP videos on YouTube because he now tells the last few months every time the same story. This he's tired and he takes a break.
Well, and that's one of the reasons too that I wanted to do some of these interviews to get to know people, because I watch 2 or 3 hours worth of videos every day, but sometimes it seems like it's 12 different influencers going over the same news articles, and so I felt like that there may be a space for us to be able to all get to know each other better, not just hear more news over and over. So I deeply appreciate you coming along and being one of the brave few that would step out and have a conversation with me to be able to let everybody else know that it's okay. Scott doesn't bite. We had a nice, friendly conversation. We both got to know each other a little bit better. We both have the same barber.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. So it's nice because haircuts don't cost as much.
Thank you very much for this interview, Scott. I love it, and I love XP, and I will watch your interviews. I will watch them back, and
Okay.
I'm waiting for the new interviews with
Okay.
other people, how they think about XRP.
Okay.
I
Well,
think
listen,
it's
you
pretty
take
good.
care, and I appreciate you coming and talking with us, and I look forward to doing it again. We can get back together maybe a month or so and kind of update each other on how we see how things have developed since April 7th, 2020. We can get back together and kind of update each other on how things have developed.
I like it. I see it. Yeah, I like it, Scott. We do
Okay.
that.
Well, we'll get back together, and you take care, be safe, and I'll let you go because I know you've got to get ready to cook dinner, and I've got to feed that little dog that keeps barking.
Okay. Stay
Okay.
safe, and I talk to you later. And thank
Okay.
you
Take
very much,
care.
Scott.
And thank you very much. Take care.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye.